picture gives a lot of information about population. Looking at the picture,
play professional football.
yes.
하여튼 요 정도 수준이면 스피킹 오버롤 26은 거뜬히 그냥 너무 쉽다 라는 점.
안녕하십니까. 오늘은 PT 시험 2편으로 돌아왔습니다. 제가 블로그에 꿀팁 관련해서 올린 글이 생각보다 너무 많은 관심을 받아가지고 또 많은 분들이 템플릿을 가져가셨어요. 근데 그 템플릿을 어떻게 활용하는지 감을 못 잡으시는 분들이 계시더라고요. 이 시험을 처음 치시는 분이면 스피킹을 어떻게 해야 되는지 감이 진짜 안 잡힌단 말이에요. 그래서 오늘은 엠윤이의 목 테스트를 제가 직접 해보면서 같이 이렇게 하면 높은 점수가 나올 수 있겠구나, 얘 정도로만 해도 높은 점수가 나오는구나 라는 어떤 자신감을 얻어가시면 좋을 것 같아서 제가 영상을 좀 찍게 됐습니다. 처음부터 끝까지 그냥 쭉 한번 해볼 거예요. 하기 전에는 무조건 이 노트 하나가 있어야 되겠죠? 이 노트에다가 템플릿을 다 써주세요. 자기소개 시간에 쓰셔도 충분합니다. 템플릿은 이렇게 노트에다가 적어놨고요. 갑자기 오랜만에 칠려니까 조금 떨리네요. Hi, my name is Olivia. Nice to meet you. 그리고 만약에 템플릿을 다 못 적었다, aloud에 35초 시간 있잖아요. 그때 좀 마저 적는 것도 추천드립니다. This book is no ordinary book and should not be read through from beginning to end. It contains many different adventures and the path you take will depend on the choices you make along the way. The success or failure of your mission will depend on the decisions you make, so think carefully before choosing. 끝나면 바로 next. In comparing material with known material culture, the first being the objects and technologies we create, and the second our customs, beliefs. 꽤 쉽죠? 이 시간 너무 지루해요. 기다린 시간. Some people object that in order for the ice, they may be stranded if the water's evaporating very quickly.
We know that sleep is essential for a normal life.
We know that sleep is essential for a normal life.
There is a lot of sugar in many fast foods.
There is a lot of sugar in many fast foods.
Elderly people can sometimes lose their connection to society.
Elderly people can sometimes lose their connections to their society.
In most cases, quality products don't need much advertising.
In most cases, quality products don't need many advertisements.
An increase in population will lead to fewer resources.
An increase in population will lead to fewer increases.
Absolutely. I believe scientific development can be a positive thing.
Absolutely. I believe scientific development can lead to positive things.
Larger numbers of city residents mean greater car ownership.
Large number of citizens means large greater of something.
There's disagreement among researchers about why we dream.
There is disagreement of researchers about why we dream.
If little action is taken, we could experience energy shortages.
If little experiment is something, we could have something.
Adverts might use humour, drama, or catchy slogans to grab people's attention.
Adverts may use humor to catch people's attention. 와, 당황했죠? This picture gives a lot of information about population. Looking at the picture more closely, I can see it's a table chart. The data has been collected from many different categories, including Sweden, France, and Denmark. According to this graph, the highest value is 30% in 2001. However, the lowest value is 25% in 1998. In conclusion, this graph shows clear differences among the categories. 30초 나왔습니다. 아니 근데 이게 제목이 없어요, 차트가. 왜 이러지? 이런 것도 처음 봤네. This picture gives a lot of information about population. Looking at the picture more closely, I can see it's a pie chart. The data has been collected from many different categories, including China, Japan, and USA. According to this graph, the highest value is slightly over 20% in Australia. However, the lowest value is 5% in UK. In conclusion, this graph shows clear differences among the categories. 수치는 정확하게 다 말했습니다. This picture gives a lot of information about population densities per square kilometer in selected countries. Looking at the picture more closely, I can see it's a pie chart. The data has been collected from many different categories, including Singapore, Bermuda, and Bangladesh. According to this graph, the highest value is slightly over 18,000 in Singapore. However, the lowest value is slightly around 2,000 in Greenland. In conclusion, this graph shows clear differences among the categories. This picture gives a lot of information about reservoir. Looking at the picture more closely, the items include powerhouse, penstock, and long-distance power lines. Firstly, in the middle of the picture, there is a powerhouse which is covered in gray color. After that, on the left side of the picture, there is intake which is covered in blue color. Finally, on the top of the picture, there is long-distance power lines which is covered in yellow color. In conclusion, this image is about reservoir. The picture gives a lot of information about approximate areas of rubbish soup. Looking at the picture more closely, the items include China, Russia, and Canada. Firstly, in the middle of the picture, there is gyre currents which is covered in white color. After that, on the left side of the picture, there is eastern rubbish patch which is covered in blue color. Finally, on the top of the picture, there is Russia which is covered in blue color. In conclusion, this image is about approximate areas of rubbish soup. lecture입니다, 이제.
In today's lecture, I'm going to talk about changes in air pollution since the middle of the last century and what has created these changes. So, by the 1950s, air pollution was very visible, with frequent thick black fogs known as smogs in many large cities around the world. The main source of this pollution was from factories, and it caused severe health problems. For example, a particularly severe smog in London in 1952 caused over 4,000 deaths. Obviously, something had to be done. And in 1956, a Clean Air Act was introduced in Britain. This addressed the pollution from factories, and the smog soon disappeared. However, as you know, these days air pollution is still a big issue. The main difference between now and the 1950s is that you can't see it, it's invisible. Also, the main source of pollution now is from cars and lorries, and although these don't produce visible signs, this air pollution is still a significant risk to health. And one of the key factors in the rise of this type of pollution is that we have all become much more vehicle dependent. There are far more cars and lorries, trains and planes than in the 1950s, and this is now the main source of air pollution around the world.
This given lecture provides information about changes in air pollution. According to the lecturer said that by the 1950s, air pollution was visible. Moreover, the lecturer mentioned that the main problem is because of smoke in factories. In addition to this, the lecturer said that in 1956, Clean Air Act was introduced in Britain. However, air pollution is still a big issue. In conclusion, the lecture is about the air pollution, and the main source is from cars, and it's invisible, but it's not good for the health.
Of what the general public knows about daily life in ancient Rome comes from art, architecture, and literature, which tell us more about the elites, especially the goings-on of the emperors. But how much do we know of the lives of ordinary Romans? Did they have a voice? Apart, that is, from what we can gather from graffiti. The usual picture is one of time spent at festivals, baths, and typically the games. However, for many Romans, terrible living conditions, poverty, debt, and the chance of being sold into slavery at any moment, that is, if they weren't slaves already, left no time or energy for such forms of entertainment, or for any interest in politics for that matter. Indeed, after the death of Augustus, executive power was taken from the elected assemblies of the Roman people. Now it was the emperor's job to look after the people, and his generosity often depended on the mood and behaviour of the people, on how often and how violently they protested and rioted. One example would be Claudius ensuring a steady grain supply, even in winter, after rioters pelted him with stale crusts of bread. There is an anecdote about Hadrian. While touring the provinces, an old lady approached him with a complaint. He made excuses and tried to get away. She said that if he wouldn't give her a hearing, he shouldn't be emperor. She got her hearing.
The given lecture provides information about arts of Rome. According to the lecturer said that the usual picture of Rome is very poor. Moreover, many Romans have terrible living conditions. In addition to this, the lecturer said that emperor's job is to look after people. Moreover, the lecturer mentioned that there is an anecdote about a woman that if he wouldn't give the hearing, the emperor cannot be the emperor.
What device is used to take photographs?
Camera.
How many years does a millennium have?
1,000.
Despite all the advances in equality between the sexes, would more men or women play professional football?
Yes.
If telescopes are used to locate distant objects, what instrument is employed to magnify minuscule objects?
Microscope.
What is the term used for see-through items such as clear glass?
Lenses.
3 students are discussing experiences with peer tutoring at university.
I've actually had a really good experience with peer tutoring. Last semester,
3 students are talking about peer tutoring at university. Student A says that she struggled with the calculus. They explained in more efficient way. So the formal tutor setup is very efficient. Friends can break down problems step by step, and friends can find the right tutor. And she could change the approach. And then student B says it was surprisingly good. Because the formal tutor, it's tricky to balance. He learned to gently push them. Some people prefer learning with visual, and he realized how different learning can be. And then student C says she's unsure about peer tutoring because it feels less like a formal classroom. Without feeling judged, she could study. We can take a break while studying. If you find the right match, it will be efficient. In conclusion, 3 students are talking about peer tutoring.
3 students are discussing choosing university electives at university.
I'm so stressed about picking my electives for next semester. There are just so many, and I don't want to choose something I'll regret, you know?
3 students are talking about classes in university. Firstly, the student A is stressed about picking electives. Some electives have way more work than others. And she's trying to balance what she likes and what's good for her resume. It could give her skills later. After that, the student B says that he's also overwhelming. He's interested in film study class because the professor is good. He's looking for interdisciplinary class as well. After that, student C is also thinking about business analytics, but she thinks that workload is a big deal. She's also interested in creative writing because she wants communication and she wants to chill out. She will choose creative writing. In conclusion, 3 students are going to take some research, and then they will find reviews and talk to other students.
You are going to have a party with your classmates at home. You will prepare barbecue and salad to treat them, but you do not know their dietary restrictions. You made a phone call to ask them about this, but they did not answer the call. Please leave a message to them.
Hello, how are you? Do you have any time to talk? I have something to discuss with you. Firstly, I understand that I am preparing a barbecue and salad to treat you, but I don't know your dietary restrictions. I think it would be great that we talk more about it because we can find a better solution if we talk more. So if you have any ideas or opinions, please let me know. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you could help me with this. Thank you.
You have an assignment due next week. Now you are in the library, but someone next to you is playing a video without headphones. You are too distracted to focus on your study. You should have a conversation with him to make sure you have a quiet place. What would you say?
Hello, how are you? Do you have any time to talk? I have something to discuss with you. Firstly, I understand that I have an assignment due next week. I'm in the library, but actually you are playing a video without headphones, and I am very distracted to focus on my study. I think it would be great that we talk more about it, because we can find a better solution if we talk more. So if you have any ideas or opinions, please let me know. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you could help me with this. Thank you. 진짜 개노답인 것이 아까 그 렉처가 너무 어려운 거예요. 그 뭐 로마 뭐시기 저시기 그거 무슨 말인지 한 개도 못 알아듣는 거예요. 근데 그때는 기출이 하나 나왔어가지고 이렇게 어려운 거는 그냥 대충 좀 말을 했거든요. 근데 이렇게 말을 못하진 않았습니다. 디스커션 같은 경우에도 마지막에 원래 그렇게 절지 않아요. 근데 오늘은 좀 메모를 못 알아가서 걸었다는 점 참고 부탁드려요. 제가 필기한 거를 보여드리자면은 이렇습니다. 그 리피트 센텐스 같은 경우는 이렇게 적었고요. 거의 못 알아보겠죠? 요거는 그냥 점점 찍어가면서 최대한 이 템플릿 보고 맞춰서 하려고 했습니다. 인포메이션 렉처는 와 이렇게 했는데 진짜 처음에는 좀 했어요. 근데 두 번째 거는 보이시죠? 거의 못 적은 거. 그리고 3명의 학생들이 이거 하고 있다. 요거는 A가 한 요렇게 꽤 많이 적었습니다. B가 요렇게, 그리고 C가 요렇게, C는 한 3줄. in conclusion은 똑같이 첫 번째 줄 얘기했던 것 같은데. 그쵸, 이거 지금 C죠. 그 다음 A, B, C. 이거 situation에서 말하는 거는 그냥 요렇게 했어요. 이렇게 하고 첫 번째 문장 읽고 두 번째 문장 말하는 식으로 했습니다. 뭐 하여튼 요 정도 수준이면 스피킹 오버롤 66은 거뜬히 그냥 넘을 수 있다라는 점. 화이팅!